Hello and welcome to Comment Below, a podcast where we talk about the subjects of the week, but more importantly, what you have been commenting below. Ben and I delve into the mess that is our social media, finding stories you may or may not have heard about. Isn't that right, Ben?
Yes, that's correct, Alex. Such as questions which you can find on our social media pages, like, what is your go-to comfort TV show? Have you got a comfort TV
Are you asking me? Sorry, I thought
I do know what yours is, but we have got comments below as well.
Red Dwarf.
Red Dwarf?
100%.
When do you tend to watch Red Dwarf?
When I've had a drink. I always put on Red Dwarf. It used to be
Southern Comfort for comfort.
And that's right. No, I don't drink Southern Comfort. Captain, so that Captain.
That's a play on words.
I got it. Gin, Mother's Ruin, gins for me.
Well, Dan said the royal family, it never fails to make him laugh, even when he's going through a bad spell. Never seen the royal family, although apparently they're doing another episode soon, like one episode. But it isn't like Lost the Cast dead.
The main character, Caroline Aherne, died. Unless they're going to do it as a tribute to her. That would be nice.
Can't go wrong with a good episode of Friends, says Chloe.
Oh, Friends has really found a resurgence, hasn't it? With like
It finds a resurgence like every 7 years.
Yeah, every new
like
generation of people, they find a resurgence of it. It's because it's on Netflix, but not for long, I don't think. It's moving to... Surely it'd move to Peacock. I think it already has in America.
That's how it gets its new audience, though, because it goes onto a new thing.
No, it's always been on Netflix. Oh, they mean
before Netflix, I mean.
Before streaming services, they was shown on Channel 4.
So it's like whatever comes after streaming services, what Friends will find itself on and become a thing. BBC's This Country.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Says Abby. And Schitt's Creek never fails me.
Yeah, that's good too. That's good too. A lot of them very modern programmes. Even Friends, I would consider, is more modern. Well, it's more modern than Red Dwarf. First series of Red Dwarf in 1988.
Maybe you are the oldest.
I am old. I mean, you guys can always get in touch with us and find us. Am I seeing too close?
You are very close to mine.
I don't like this. This is too unnatural. Last time, when we did the first episode, the pilot episode, Ben was sat opposite me, and so I could have a conversation with him. Now I'm just staring into the wall, having a conversation with myself. You're tiny. I can barely read you. Plus, then people think I'm being vain and looking at myself in the lens all the time. If I have to turn my head, I have to do it like this. And it's really awkward. I don't like it. So this will be discussed again by episode 3. Yes, if you enjoyed, if you want to get in touch with us, and we're not embarrassed to ask you to join in, please share your stories or indeed comment below at X at commentbelowpod, Instagram at commentbelow_pod, or you can email commentbelowpod@gmail.com. And as we always start, we start off with the news stories of this week. And Ben's got the first one as I sip on my coffee.
Headline this week. Costa Coffee has recalled some of its items due to some problems with some of the sandwiches and things. Guess what's in the items?
Meat? Are they meant to be vegan items and there's meat in them? I've not seen this article.
It's a chicken and bacon Caesar wrap.
And it's got no meat in it. That's probably more like
chicken
there.
Southern fried chicken wrap, chicken salad sandwich, and a BLT sandwich have all been recalled. If you have the use dates 6th to the 8th of September, they want people to stop eating and bring them back. Maybe a bit late. Because when you buy a sandwich, you're going to eat it there and then. But they say, Costa have said that there may be small stones inside.
Kidney stones. The pigs have got kidney stones.
Yes.
I'm just reading the article now. Customer safety is paramount importance. Not that important, was it really, Costa? Let's be honest, if you're going to hand out sandwiches.
Those small stones, it's,
It's chicken, isn't it? Is it the chicken that's the main thing? BLT is the odd one out there, though.
Maybe chickens have been eating stones.
Don't they get their sandwich? Yeah, instead of flicking them. Actually, no, because the chickens are probably caged into a horrible little thing. I mean, it's probably over farm.
Wayne said on Twitter, how do you get stones in food? The factory needs a check for trading standards.
The fact he said in his comment, how do you get stones in food? The factory. It's like, well, that might be a case where it's happened because perhaps the factory wasn't clean and the chickens have been factoried.
Oh, here's a joke, so get ready to laugh. Wouldn't fancy biting into one of them. I would be bricking myself and pebble dashing the bog.
Very good.
Do you think that's good? It's a joke?
Very good. Maybe they grew the stones like you can, because you can grow concrete. Did you not know that?
Oh, yeah, that's true. They are making new schools out of it.
It's true.
If this is the fall of civilization when you can't get a sandwich without stones in it. Do dentists lined up for all these cracked teeth?
Are they being serious when they say this is the fall of civilization? Because you
I don't think so.
I hope so.
No.
I hope not too. Yeah, it doesn't cost to get their sandwiches from M&S. as well. I thought M&S now supply Costa with their sandwiches.
Their food.
That's not good for M&S, is it? That's a really bad advertisement for them.
M&S is the best food.
And well, as long as there's no stones in it.
Right, what else then?
Well, the National Television Awards aired in the UK this week.
Yes.
An accolade is voted by the British public, which is when people vote for their favourite TV shows, comedies, dramas, so on and so forth. Notable was the fact that a TV
Philip Schofield wasn't there?
Philip Schofield was there, actually.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. There's an article.
Sure, that's not an AI.
Well, it's funny how you should bring that up. It's almost as if you knew, because the Daily Mail, as someone put it, clutched at straws. That was someone's comment, because they said Philip Schofield seen at NTA Awards, and do you know where he was seen?
Or cardboard cutout
during the video package commemorating Paul O'Grady.
I remember that. Oh, so he wasn't there.
Oh, he was also there.
Funny headline as well. I think it was the Daily Mail as well. Some paper. It said Philip Schofield dramatically unfollows Holly Willoughby.
Ooh, how do you dramatically do that?
I'm glad you asked those questions. So yes, it's all very funny. So NTAs. Holly was there. She was dressed in white.
Holly was there. Oh dear, they're not letting me look because I've got an ad blocker. That's just something about Mail Online, doesn't it? I can tell you the story though because I've got it all up here in my little noggin. Jay Goody's mum, basically
Jackie
got a bit angry. Jackie Goody. She got a bit angry because her grandson, not Bobby Goody.
Bobby Brazier,
right. He won an award for best TV newcomer.
And that angered Jackie.
Well, it angered Jackie because she was a bit upset that he had mentioned his mum during the acceptance speech, but he had mentioned his dad, Jeff Brazier.
Right.
And also she said that Jeff Brazier hasn't been allowing her to visit or see her son for a long time, and Jeff Brazier has been quite open and honest and said yes, that's true, because she's a bad influence. She's not a good person. She's not someone who I think that my son should be growing around, or their other children.
I forgot about Jackie. I only ever know her from Celebrity Big Brother, but she wasn't like.
I mean, she didn't help
on there.
No, she. What I remember of her Jackie Goody on Celebrity Big Brother was they tied her onto a chair and then left her in a room for like 3-4 hours. It was a task. They had to do it, but Jackie's got a limp arm. I don't know how to put it any.
Yeah.
And so she was unable to untie herself from the chair, and it was like a lot of people thought it was really funny because Jackie Goody.
So she was upset that he didn't mention Jay. I mean,
not just that. She dropped that one in, but it's more the fact that she was upset.
I didn't see him.
See, she doesn't see him very often. And yeah, a lot of people
Bobby's
got really
over
upset
18,
about that.
so it's his choice to see his grandmother if he wants to.
Exactly. So perhaps, but I think she feels like he's been brainwashed by
Jeff.
Yeah, and his.
I'm good at the names of these family, aren't I?
You are. Well, you obviously follow their family timeline better than I do, because to be honest with you, other than this story, I don't give a monkeys about the Goodies or the Braziers.
No, I remember them all from when she was on OK Magazine. I worked in Tesco. Was I in Tesco at the time or hairdressers? One of the two, but I always saw OK Magazine every week. So
Jackie was on the front cover.
Jackie, Jade, Jeff, the dark-haired guy that she married.
Was this
every week they were there?
Was this before that they had the big scandal?
After it was when she was going through cancer. I think she was literally on.
Well, she did that on purpose. To be fair to Jay Goody, the reason she was doing all those things was because she was trying to get as much money as she could. Yeah, she was really honest about it. She was getting as much money as she could to help her children along in future.
Well, it sold lots because I scanned a lot of them through the checkout.
Well, that's lucky then. So you must have been at Tesco then, and not at the hairdressers if you were scanning.
I think it overlapped slightly because I remember someone in the hairdressers didn't like her. Anyway, I digress.
Oh, so you were working at the hairdressers and at Tesco's at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Double jobs. I was apprentice. Can't live on £80.
They don't even work on one job. Jokes. So yeah, but a few people had a few things to say. Mainly, 99% of the things was that Jackie's a bit bad. Jones the Dragon from Cardiff said Jackie, who dragged her poor daughter up with alcohol and drugs and was hardly a role model to anyone. Jeff, who has always been a steady influence on his boys and gladly brought them up in what appears to be a loving and caring home, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's only one thing I know about Jeff, but I can't repeat it here.
I know what you're going to say. He's like Big Willie.
No.
That is something, though.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't what I was going to say.
Jay Goody said it. Jay Goody said it.
Well, we've all seen it.
And he hosted, I can tell you something else about it.
Right. What about it?
Not Jeff. Not his penis. About Jeff.
Right.
He hosted the remake of Finders Keepers on CITV, and it was not as good as the Neil Buchanan version.
Oh. He did Jump, I think, didn't he?
What, the diving show?
Was it Jump? What was the one where he used to ski down a slope?
The Jump.
The Jump.
On Channel 4.
I think he did that.
That was ridiculous.
I think he did the diving show too.
Awful.
And all of Gemma Collins.
Shan Telly from Manchester said, well, we can all pass judgment on Jackie when we do not have any proof of what is going on with this family. It is sad to read that Jade's mother hid herself at the awards. Oh, yeah, by the way, there was another thing. She basically was at the awards, but she deliberately kept her distance.
Well, she was at the NTAs? Probably in the audience bit.
Yeah, she got tickets in the audience. I mean, do you reckon Jackie got celebrity tickets to the... No, of course not. She wasn't in the parapet. And so I hope they can make peace between them, given that Jade has been gone for 14 years. That is a long time for blood to boil. Mm-hmm. And Jazz from Colchester said, wait until they're older before I rip into them. Good idea. But in the meantime, badmouth their father to the world in a newspaper. That's obviously why Jade was
inside.
That's obviously why Jade was lacking intelligence. Her mother couldn't afford to give her half a brain cell. So it would be half their capacity. I think that was a bit cruel to kind of like bring Jade into the argument because, you know, one, Jade's obviously not here to defend herself. And two, I think Jade had a good heart. She just sometimes was very misguided. And that's, you know, that's not necessarily Jade's fault. But
I feel Jackie should have just let her grandson have a nice time winning an acting award.
Do you not think that Jackie was offered £2,000 for that piece of guff and she said yes please?
True.
Took it. That's all it comes down to. It comes down to money.
Say no to the appearance fees.
If the Daily Mail came up to me and asked me for a story about you, I'm telling you, good for me. I'll be there rich and famous. But you'll probably encourage it too. You'll probably give me the story to tell them so we can do something to the house.
Or you could do what people are theorising Joe Jonas is doing and go yourself as someone else.
Oh, is this story 3? Is it?
But story 3 of the headlines is Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner have filed for divorce. Joe Jonas is from the Jonas Brothers and Camp Rock.
Mm-hmm. He's not
Sophie,
the hot one.
Well, there's 2 hot ones.
Which one do you think is not hot? And I bet you that's the one I think is hot.
Not Nick and not Joe. I don't know what the other one's called.
So Nick and Joe are the hot one.
Yes, although Joe is going down in people's estimations, but anyway.
I don't know. You carry on and I'll find it.
So they have filed for divorce. Sophie Turner is from Game of Thrones fame. Sansa, Queen of the North, spoilers for the end. And this is, you know, it's a divorce, they're a young couple, they've got kids. This isn't really what the main topic is of this, but the way that it's being portrayed in our lovely media and social media is interesting because it is being portrayed that a source close to them, who people are assuming is Joe Jonas, who has also set up paparazzi shots of him taking the kids out for lunch with the nanny.
He set them up? What, as in he literally organised?
Yeah, because it was in private paparazzi, people who've taken the photos. Anyway, he is saying basically
Why did you do
that the reason for the divorce is that their lives are different. He is a homebody and she likes to party.
Oh, well, she is young, to be fair.
Well,
isn't he quite Christian? Didn't they do a pact for the Disney Channel to say that they weren't going to have sex?
Yeah, they had red bands on
Virgin
at one point. Yeah,
but then didn't also Miley Cyrus do the same thing?
Well, this is where it all is a bit funny because there's been loads of things surfacing about Sophie Turner where she has been saying for years that she's an introvert and it's really difficult in the relationship because Joe is the one going out partying all the time. But of course, this has all been spun in the media by what? Slagging off the mother.
Speculation. Oh, okay.
The woman. She has just finished...
Which mother? Well, the Jonas Brothers' mother?
No, Sophie Turner. She's the mum to their kids. They've got kids together.
Oh, they got kids. So,
right. And she's just been filming for 3 months.
Anyone who's listening or watching this right now, I really don't care.
Well, it's the way that it's been portrayed because she went out for a rap party because they finished filming a TV series for 3 months, right?
Game of Thrones?
No, that was years ago.
Was it? I hear it ended really badly.
She dared to go to the rap party and have £6.50 shots. Photograph.
The cost of the shot was £6.50?
Yeah.
That's an expensive shot.
Well,
I'm finding that...
As the mother...
Is this in London?
Allowed to do that, yeah.
Why is she not allowed to do that? Is she breastfeeding?
No.
Well, then why are you not allowed to do it?
Oh, exactly. But Joe has been left for 3 months to babysit the kids, even though he's the father.
No, boo hoo,
and this is the thing which people are really angry about, because it's being portrayed as he's the dad. Why should he not be at home looking after the kids? Because she's gone out to drink shots.
I was rolling my hand to say, like, well, why should he be at home?
Exactly. And he's now going on this and like portraying her as this like wild party animal. And the media are really grabbing onto it because she's meant to be the mum and she shouldn't go out and all this.
Well, they always go for the women because that's what the media do.
Because the fact that there's rumours that he's helping this a lot.
He's encouraging the media to do
giving quotes and things.
Well, he's probably doing it also for like court case and stuff like that because he thinks that might be a way of him winning it. It's sniffing around. It's smelling a little bit like, to me, this Johnny Depp nonsense all over again. That I'm going to get home and I'm going to find you watching live streaming of the Johnny Depp.
I don't think it's going to be
endlessly going.
It was just interesting how the media have perched onto her.
But the media always do, though.
Yeah,
the media always do.
But that's been getting a lot of people upset online.
Well, I'm upset now. I've heard about it.
Yeah, so there may be more to come, but that's the I think that's the headlines finished, wrapped.
Well, we haven't actually. Which one's the Jonas brother? Which isn't the hot one, according to you? The one on the right. See, that's the only one I think is hot.
Yeah, Kevin isn't.
I think Kevin's all right.
Well, Nick's the best now.
Because what? Because the other one's been a dickhead.
Yeah, no one trusts Joe Jonas anymore.
Joe Jonas. So what do you think is going to happen with them then? Are they just going to have a divorce and it's going to be really messy?
Well, people are going to stick up for Sophie Turner because, you know,
Sophie
don't miss with Sansa Stark, do you?
That's true. She's been through it once already. She's got
to rally the army.
She needs to get her sister on board.
Exactly.
She stabbed the Ice King.
All right.
Oh, if you haven't watched the end of Game of Thrones,
that's true.
Yeah, you live in a cave. All right, so that's the stories of the news, as much as news it could be. I mean, I think next time maybe we should go for more kind of like topical news rather than celebrity gossip.
Well, I was going to talk about the schools crumbling and the woman who moaned at people she's not being thanked and for everyone's sitting on her ass apart from her, and she's amazing.
Was she the one who had a moan at the ITV?
Yes, and she's recently said that she's now angry with principals because they've been sitting on their ass and not filling out forms.
Head teachers?
Yes. Even though they had filled out the forms and it's actually all backfired on her. But
is that that's ongoing? Hang on, for anyone because you can't just say that person or her.
Oh, Julie, I can't remember her name.
She's the Education Secretary.
Yes.
The UK Education Secretary, and I will find out her name.
Gillian.
No, Claire.
No, just
Gillian Keegan.
One.
Gillian Keegan.
Has anyone ever said, you know what, you've done a good job because everyone else has sat on their and done nothing? No signs of that.
That was her court when the cameras were met. Well, she thought the cameras were off, but they were still rolling.
She was doing an interview for ITV News about the crumbling schools in the UK because we don't use the right concrete in the UK. We apparently use concrete.
We do for the offices of our MPs. They get 30 million new office. She signed off on, which she said to Kay Burley on Sky News that she didn't sign off on, but it's come out that she did.
What's that got to do with the schools?
Well, she spent 30 million on her own office.
30 million?
Yes, for refurbishment.
Feels exaggerated.
Well, it's not.
Are you sure 30 million isn't for like a whole government building?
20 million for herself and then
an office. 30 million for an office. An office floor.
Yes.
30 million.
Yes. Why do you not believe my sources? I literally just quoted.
All right, Dan Wooten. My sources report.
Kay Burley questioned
for
her.
An office.
Kay Burley questioned her and she was like, I had no idea about that. And now it's come out now that she did and she signed it off.
Right, 30 million for an office building, 30 million city office block to be converted to low carbon. Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's an MP education office. Type in her name.
I can't believe that she spent that much. What was her name? Keegan? What was that?
Gillian.
Gillian Keegan.
Just type in Gillian Keegan office.
Oh, I can't even type anything. My keyboard is messing around. Gillian Keegan.
This wasn't even meant to be part of my headline.
Well, you started it. 30 million, right. Roasted over 32 million for office refurb.
Sorry, 32. I was 2 million off.
You're 2 million off. Schools across England were, ordered to close today over concerns about building safety. Appearing on Sky News, educator admitted she didn't know the amount being spent on renovations, following reports that thousands of schools, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's come out that she did know since then.
32 million is a lot of money. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to type.
I know. Very nice sofas.
Well, that's my point. It's like 32 million for an office refurb.
I can't believe you're surprised by the government.
Well, no
matter where you go.
True. I'm never surprised.
No matter where you go with this government, it's just there's always something. Even this. She's like, I've not even heard of her for about 3 or 4 years. She's never crossed any path. Now all of a sudden, She does one interview, and now it's all coming out.
The work includes gutting out the current interior to create headquarters with a more modern and efficient office space across 6 fully renovated floors. How? Well, 6 floors, okay. It must be a government building. It must be like a council building. But 32 million feels excessive to do that.
Schools are crumbling and they don't want to pay for it. Anyway.
Okay, so anyway, yeah.
Right. What's up next?
Wait, do you know what something else people don't want to pay for? Helping the good Hawaiian people. But that's because of the source of where the people are getting the campaigning from. Cool, that was a good link, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to expand on that link?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the video. I'll play it now. It's Oprah and The Rock.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui that we were texting back and forth. And I read this article that Dolly Parton had given money in her community. And
that's
I said, I think
Dolly's
this is the answer. You said, I think that's the answer.
This is the answer.
I said, I love it.
So The Rock and Oprah have decided that, because there's wildfires in Maui.
34 million, sorry.
Well, get ready for these numbers, because they want people, the good people, to donate, help for the Maui wildfires. The Rock and Oprah are very rich individuals. I think combined they're nearly, 2 billion, I think, combined.
It says they've got a joint worth of $2 billion.
Mm-hmm. They've donated $5 million each to kickstart this thing a little bit.
Well,
$5 million.
That pays for a third of a government.
Well, exactly. You may think $5 million, that's quite impressive. But what that is Oprah's worth, that is 0.5% of her worth. So what people were doing, because people were quite angry at this, because like they're asking everyone to fund this, and they're like very, very rich. She owns over 1,000 acres in Maui land. Basically, people were saying, well, I'm going to donate 0.5% of my wages. So people were donating like $1.25, because that's the equivalent.
Oh, okay.
5 million. That's the equivalent that you was giving to this.
Fair, but there is a time and a place for spite, and I feel like charity isn't one of them. I think it's okay to kind of like put.
But those numbers are interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's right to put across the point that is that, you know, their combined wealth is $2 billion, and they're asking other people to help. Where if you probably took the 50 most richest people of America alone and asked for them all to donate 1% of their wealth, you'd probably be able to wipe off that bill immediately. And that's the problem I've seen, is that people don't trust people.
Sorry.
Because of the big divide in wealth that's happened, exacerbated by COVID because of the way things were, that people were at home, but also just the way the world is going, this capitalism. I'm not doing a socialist rant here. I'm just saying that, you know, this is just the way the world's going. People are less inclined to want to give money to charity now, because they see that their real term wages at home isn't buying as much as they were able to buy for themselves.
Exactly. So if you're sitting on a few billion, then just
why not just donate it yourself? You know,
I mean, Oprah does loads of donations anyway. We know that, but like this, so does Dolly. So like exactly. She used Dolly's inspiration. I think, it was just a bit tone deaf the way that it's all been going about, and it hasn't raised much as a consequence, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm just looking now at the Forbes 400, the richest people in America,
right?
And Elon Musk, right? This is a myth. He's not worth $251 billion.
No, he's been really bad this week, by the way.
Of course he has. Well, basically, I'm just saying that like the richest person, although Elon Musk is not worth that amount of money, it's already been, it's like Donald Trump saying he's worth that amount of money. He's not worth that amount of money. It's all pie in the sky money amounts. He's not worth that, and it's proven because he's like basically can't pay off the debt or the loan that he used to buy. From his lenders to buy Twitter, and so he's getting more and more and more further in debt. But look, Jeff Bezos, he probably is worth $150 billion.
Exactly. Do it in like
10% of that. What's that? $15 million?
More than that.
Well, yeah, $150 million.
Exactly.
10% is $150 million.
And he makes that back in the day.
I'm surprised Bill Gates hasn't thrown his hat in the ring. It's normally something he likes to. Larry Ellison, who is from Hawaii.
Who?
I don't know, but he's from Hawaii. There he is. He's chairman and chief technology officer and co-founder of the software giant Oracle, of which he owns 35%. He's worth $100 billion.
Well, he might have. We don't know. All I know is about Oprah.
But that's true. We do not know.
Being a bit
what did people say about
social media-y? Like I said, they were just basically being like,
you don't have any comments, despite the show being called Comment Below.
I just have their feedback.
Send us your comments for us not to read out on the show. Well, shall I go screaming into the next
yes, please.
So some of the listeners may have heard of him. There's a YouTube creator called him. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Hell versus Babyface. He's basically a YouTube, and I think he's on that streaming service, Twitch. That's my old man quote of the day. That streaming service. And he was streaming Starfield just as it came out, and he had a meltdown. Little Babyface had a bit of a meltdown because when he was making his character creator, he gave him an option. Either he, him, she, her, or God help us, they, them. And do you know what he did? He screamed for 5 minutes directly at a camera and moaned because of that one little option he had to make a decision about, saying that it was ruining his fantasy game, don't forget, a game that's all about going into space and killing aliens because, you know, that's not far-fetched.
But wanted to be realistic.
But he wanted to be more realistic. And he felt
when
like...
you jump in puddles, it doesn't splash in that game. Is that realistic?
No. No, because...
when you throw a grenade into a lake, there's not a ripple effect. Nothing. I mean, that's more of a concern for me.
Well, and also Starfield. What's their name? I love their channel. Stephanie Sterling. They said that basically Bethesda games, we should be more concentrating more on how broken they are when they get released rather than one little option on the drop-down menu box.
What if you play Baldur's Gate 3? You choose willy size on that.
You can, and you can have you can choose genitals and
all sorts. So maybe he played that, got a bit upset, thought, no, I'm going to play Starfield.
Yeah.
Then,
they, them,
in my face again. I think I saw a video of this on TikTok where someone did a tally count of how many times he used pronouns in his rant, and it was like 20 times.
Well, funnily enough, this is because I did do the work and I found some comments that were on Reddit. And funnily enough, someone did actually point something similar to that out. I will find it, hopefully, very quickly. But Ed, what's your view on that? Are you upset because they gave you a third option for gender?
No, it's just... The whole gender thing is just
I know, it doesn't
made up argument, which it doesn't need to be an argument. It's just stupid.
I know.
You've been able to choose this stuff for years in games.
You have. That's the mad thing.
It's not new.
It's not a new thing. On a lot of PC games, you've always had the option to be a transgender character.
You just be whatever you want. You can walk around dressed in anything.
But this is it. Video games are just... They are
when I play Assassin's Creed,
fantasy. It's not like there is genuinely an Italian plumber that goes into some mushroom kingdom and starts hitting blocks with question marks above him to eat a mushroom. Like, can you imagine if people were like, well, with Birdo, the Birdo debate. When Birdo first came out, everyone presumed Birdo was female. We now know Birdo is male.
Their eggs.
Yeah, but Birdo is male. But he chooses to wear a diamond ring and a bow in his hair. With hair. What does Birdo have? And spits out eggs.
Yeah.
You know, Nintendo were ahead of the curve, my friends. Ahead of the curve.
I mean, that was a translation error originally, but we won't go there.
Mm-hmm. But they stuck to it.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Ozic from Reddit said, Baldy, this is the guy who was having his rant, Baldy sure is saying you and we a lot for someone who hates pronouns. That's fair. Phallic reason, I thought that it's interesting that they've called themselves phallic. He's not wrong. It's what makes the current day TV shows and movies so shit is that they keep pushing this modern day nonsense just to get a high score on the diversity quota. Well, I like to reply to Phallic on an argument that most people use, which is the fact that for television and most media, as a gay man, I've had straight people pushed onto me and the gender for
like 60 years.
For pretty much my whole life, up until the last 5 years.
Turn you straight watching all them, did it?
Well, no, it didn't turn me straight, but also I felt like there was no representation for me in these TV shows. I've told you this before. The kids nowadays have Heartstopper kind of like help them identify themselves, find themselves, their sexuality to kind of...
Just see a positive thing on TV.
Do you know what I had as a teenage boy?
Right.
I had Queer as Folk. My way of knowing that it was okay to be a gay guy was watching the first episode of Queer as Folk where a guy was rimmed by another man. Do you know what? I swear to God, I'll never forget the bike ride to school the next day with my best friend Claire. Hi, Claire. And we talked about that scene at great extent. And I was like, do you know, that's really made me feel good about myself. So, you know, kids today have Heartstopper. I had a man rimming another man in Queer as Folk. John Slow says, I'm sorry, but this is very funny. I've watched this clip like 10 times now. Every snapshot is a gold thumbnail material. This is the new loco of our times. When he took his headphones off, I knew we were in for a show, either a real genius performance artist or a true mouth breather. His baby face frothing off the mouth, spit yelling, literal tears forming in his eyes was just chef's kiss, a true gift.
Total mouth breather.
But what did me was at the end of this 2-minute screaming rant, he fired up the game and started playing it.
Yeah,
which he did.
Stop him.
If you watch the video, we might put it on our social media, you'll see that he then just kind of just put his headphones back on and then just carried on playing the game. So
guess what?
It was fine.
It didn't take anything away. So
took absolutely nothing from his experience in the game.
He needs to have a look at himself and think, actually, was that big of a deal? So I can still be my hetero spaceman.
Yeah.
In space.
If he's happy and he wants to be...
Every time I get a chance, I make every character gay.
Do you?
Any chance I get?
Should you make
my Assassin's Creed cast characters always shag every man? Every single one.
Your Mass Effect story was filth, quite frankly, when I used to watch you play that game.
I do it on purpose.
It was filth. Absolute filth.
So, there you go then.
One more story?
No. I don't know. Is there time?
I mean, we can save
we'll do it
for
for next time.
because I think that is very seasonal. And as we're recording this, I feel like we're in that season. The leaves are turning brown. I would say the weather's getting cold, but it really isn't. We're in a heat wave as we're recording this. And
we are very hot.
God, I'm sweating.
So yeah, how can people get in touch with us then if they want to, once all this comes out?
Well, I shall tell you. You can get in touch with us on X at commentbelowpod, on Instagram at commentbelow_pod, or you can email us commentbelowpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Get in touch with your stories you'd like us to talk about, or if you have any comments you'd like to make on any of the stories we have talked about, then let us know.
Right, so we'll be back next week. We've got to end the show, as we always do, with an uplifting Facebook mum quote. So take this with you for this week, and we'll see you again next week. Don't take advantage of a kind heart. You may never be offered one again. Goodbye.